Now, I'm a Christian, but I ain't that good a Christian. So I just keep going through. But then I'll tell you something too, haters motivate me. Because when they talking about me, that means I'm doing something.
Steve Harvey's wife is at the center of a federal substance investigation. And the man who took the fall for her is about to publish a memoir that names names. Everyone assumed the talk show king's empire was untouchable, built on family values and motivational speeches, until his ex-wife dropped 4 new videos this week, demanding half of everything he and Marjorie own, including what she calls the wealth they stole from me. Sources inside the comedy world confirm Cat Williams is rallying victims for a coordinated takedown. While court records show Mary Shackelford's gag order expires in 6 months, she's already hinting at what she'll say next. The numbers don't lie. $60 million in lawsuit demands, 2 substance kingpin ex-husbands, 1 missing federal case file, and a leaked staff email banning anyone from approaching him without an appointment. But here's the problem. If Harvey really won, to quote his ex, why is she only screaming now, 19 years after their divorce? And why did his social media manager get fired the same week Marjorie's past resurfaced in the press? The cracks are showing. And the next leak won't just embarrass him, it'll finish him.
He took my Winton. Took my Winton from me. He turned my son against me.
The moment Mary Shackelford's videos hit the internet this week, the narrative around Steve Harvey's carefully constructed image began to fracture in real time. This wasn't just another ex-wife venting. It was a calculated strike from someone who spent 19 years watching him build an empire on what she calls her ruins. The videos, 4 of them dropped in rapid succession, don't just demand money. They demand accountability, using language that sounds less like a scorned partner and more like a woman who's been counting the days until she could speak. She's not asking for $60 million in back support anymore. She's calling it what it is. Half of everything he and Marjorie have accumulated since 2005, the year their divorce was finalized. That's not just alimony math. That's a direct challenge to the financial foundation of his entire brand. And the timing isn't accidental. Sources connected to the comedy circuit note that Mary's move comes exactly as Cat Williams' tour is gaining momentum, with insiders claiming the 2 camps have been in quiet contact for months. What's being whispered now is that this isn't just about justice. It's about coordination.
Hey, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Well, Steve's learning that the hard way tonight. Steve's ex-wife, Marjorie Harvey, is angry, and she's going public.
Here's where the numbers start to tell a different story than the one Harvey's team has spent years selling. Court documents from Mary's 2017 lawsuit, which she lost, reveal she was initially awarded $40,000 per month until 2009, then a one-time payment of $1.9 million for 16 years of marriage. That's not chump change, but it's a fraction of what she's now claiming she's owed. The discrepancy suggests 2 possibilities. Either Harvey hid assets during the divorce, or Mary is sitting on evidence that could force a reopening of the case. And then there's the gag order, something that doesn't typically get slapped on standard custody disputes unless there's something far more damaging at stake. People close to the situation say the order stems from allegations involving Winton, Harvey's son with Mary, who hasn't spoken to his mother in years. But the silence around Winton's role in this is deafening. He's 27 now, old enough to speak for himself. Yet there's been no public statement, no interviews, nothing. That's not how arrangements usually work when the stakes are this high. The real question isn't just about the money. It's about what Mary knows that we don't. Her videos don't just rant. They lay out a timeline. 1989, Harvey meets her while still married to his first wife. 1996, they marry and have a son. 2005, divorce finalized. 2008, he marries Marjorie. The overlap isn't just messy, it's a pattern. And the way she phrases it doesn't sound like a woman scorned. It sounds like a woman who's been waiting for the right moment to pull the pin. What's changed now? Industry sources point to 2 things: the expiration date on that gag order, and the fact that Harvey's empire is showing its first real cracks. His social media manager was fired last month over a single negative tweet, which doesn't track for a man who spent decades controlling his image. That's not damage control. That's panic.
Right. Mm-hmm. I see your stepdad is in the perfect position with relationship he has with Obama to get me.
And then there's the matter of Marjorie's past, which Mary's videos don't directly address, but which everyone in Harvey's circle knows is the real powder keg. Marjorie wasn't just some stylist when they met. She was freshly divorced from Jim Townsend, a man currently serving a life sentence for moving weight that the FBI once alleged she was connected to. Townsend's memoir, Snakes in the Garden, drops next month, and advanced copies circulating in certain circles reportedly don't paint her as an innocent bystander. The question no one's asking out loud yet is whether Steve Harvey knew about any of this before he married her, or if he knew and didn't care because the optics of a beautiful wife and blended family were worth the risk. That's not just a personal question. It's a financial one. If Marjorie's wealth has roots in Townsend's operations, and if the FBI ever revisits that file, Harvey's entire fortune could be considered proceeds of something far darker than comedy. The leaks don't stop with Mary. Over in the comedy world, Cat Williams has been very specific about what he plans to drop on his current tour. And it's not just about joke theft anymore. People who've seen the set list say he has a segment titled 3, which allegedly includes audio evidence of Harvey admitting to lifting material from Mark Curry's old routines. That's not just a feud. That's a career-ending accusation if it's true. And then there's the Bernie Mac connection, which keeps resurfacing like a bad dream. Ed Lover went on record last week confirming that Bernie told him personally that Harvey tried to undermine his Ocean's 11 role, which lines up with what Cat's been saying for years. The difference now is that Bernie's daughter has started liking Cat's posts on social media, which in this world is the equivalent of a public endorsement. That's not just support. That's a signal that the Mac family might be ready to go on the record themselves.
You got to be careful of people who become victims of circumstances that they create. You on here talking about me. I didn't talk about you. If you want to sit down, I'll sit down. Man, I'll sit down with anybody. I promise you I will, man. I'm that big a man now. You know, now 30 years ago, I'd have found you with purpose.
Yeah.
But not no more, man.
Is it low-hanging fruit? Because
But here's where the story starts to bend in a way that suggests this is about more than just money or clout. Harvey's own behavior over the past few weeks has been erratic, even for him. Firing his social media manager over a single tweet isn't just thin-skinned. It's the move of a man who's convinced there are leaks in his operation. His staff email from 2015, the one where he banned anyone from approaching him without an appointment, is being recirculated now not as a quirk, but as evidence of a much larger control issue. And the fact that he's still refusing to address any of this directly, instead posting vague scripture quotes about haters, isn't playing well with the people who used to defend him. The comedy community has turned. The public is starting to side with Mary. And Marjorie has been unusually quiet, which for a woman who built her brand on Instagram flexes is the most telling reaction of all. What no one's talking about yet is the connection between all these moving parts. Mary's financial demands, Cat's tour, Marjorie's past, the staff firings, they don't just happen to be occurring at the same time. They're connected. The theory making the rounds in certain circles is that Harvey's team knows something we don't. Something big enough that they're trying to suppress leaks on multiple fronts at once. That's why the social media purge. That's why the gag order on Mary. That's why Marjorie isn't posting her usual vacation photos. They're not just dealing with a scandal. They're dealing with a coordinated attack. And the one thing that could tie it all together, the thing being whispered about but not yet said out loud, is the FBI file on Marjorie that Townsend couldn't make disappear. If that ever sees the light of day, $60 million in alimony demands is going to look like pocket change compared to what comes next.
So they in that generation. And I asked them what is it, and they said, Dad, you clickbait.
Wow.
He said, you clickbait. He said, you one of the most viral people in your age group out there. He said, Dad, every clip on Family Feud got you on it.
Yeah.
You clickbait. If they can take your face and put it on anything, you become clickbait. He said, and that's what it is, you know.
The other piece that doesn't add up is Winton's silence. A 27-year-old man doesn't just cut off his mother for no reason, especially not in a family this high profile. The custody battle records are sealed, but people who were in the room during those hearings say Mary's team had evidence that Harvey turned the child against her, and the judges still ruled in Harvey's favor. That's not just a custody dispute. That's a power play. And if Winton has been fed a narrative about his mother all these years, what happens when he finds out the truth? What happens when he realizes the man he's been defending may have spent his entire career lying, not just to the public, but to his own family? That's the kind of revelation that doesn't just end careers. It ends legacies. And then there's the timing. Mary's videos dropped the same week Kat's tour hit its midpoint. Marjorie's ex-husband's memoir is about to be published. Harvey's staff is in disarray. This isn't coincidence. It's strategy. The question is, who's orchestrating it? Mary doesn't have the resources to coordinate something this precise on her own. Kat has been the most vocal, but he's not the type to play four-dimensional chess. That leaves two possibilities. Either someone in Harvey's inner circle has turned on him, feeding information to the right people at the right times, or this is being driven by someone we haven't even considered yet, someone with access, motive, and a grudge big enough to want to burn it all down.
Were you looking for money to buy your silence?
No, I think I was looking for accountability on to what he did. I think what he did was wrong, and it needed to be something that would deter him from doing this to somebody.
What's becoming clear is that this isn't just about exposing Steve Harvey. It's about dismantling him. The financial demands, the comedy feuds, the family secrets, they're all pressure points being squeezed at once. And the man who built his career on being the guy who could handle anything is starting to look like he can't handle any of it. The real question isn't whether he'll survive this. It's what he's willing to destroy to try. Because the one thing that's certain is that the people coming for him aren't just looking for money or apologies. They're looking for blood. And from the way things are unfolding, they're not going to stop until they get it. But here's the part that should make anyone paying attention pause. The leaks so far have all been controlled. Mary's videos were polished. Kat's tour dates were announced in advance. Even the staff firings were handled in a way that drew maximum attention. That doesn't happen by accident in a world where scandals usually explode messily. Someone's managing this. Someone's making sure the right information gets out at the right time. And if that's the case, then the worst hasn't hit yet. Because the leaks we've seen so far, they're just the setup. The real damage comes when the people pulling the strings decide it's time to drop the hammer. And from where things stand right now, that moment is coming sooner than anyone thinks.
Well, welcome back to NNN, where we give it to you straight, no chaser. Well, this story is not straight at all. It's quite twisty, turny, and greasy. Tyler Perry, who's currently dating a black woman, wink, wink, was outed and sued for $260 million in a assault lawsuit filed by a male actor from his show, The Oval.
The deeper you look into Steve Harvey's inner circle, the harder it becomes to ignore the company he keeps and the kind of trouble that company brings with it. This isn't just about his marriages or his comedy feuds anymore. It's about the fact that two of Harvey's closest allies, Diddy and Tyler Perry, are currently drowning in legal scandals so severe they could take Harvey down with them. Diddy's federal conviction on human trafficking charges last September wasn't just a personal disaster. It was a warning sign for everyone associated with him. And when the FBI raided Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami, they didn't just find the 10,000 bottles of baby oil that made headlines. They found connections, records, and a paper trail that, according to insiders, didn't stop with Diddy. The question no one's asking out loud yet is simple. How deep does Harvey's involvement go? Because one thing has become undeniable. Harvey didn't just know these men. He did business with them, partied with them, and in Diddy's case, publicly defended him even as the allegations piled up. What makes this even more damning is that Harvey's silence on Diddy's conviction isn't just notable, it's suspicious. While other celebrities rushed to distance themselves, Harvey stayed quiet, which in a world where public statements are everything, reads like complicity. And then there's the timing. Diddy's legal troubles began escalating in early 2024, right around the same time Harvey's own scandals started resurfacing. Coincidence? Maybe. But when you factor in that Tyler Perry, Harvey's other close associate, is now facing not one but two multimillion-dollar lawsuits for inappropriate misconduct, With accusations that mirror the kind of behavior Diddy was convicted for, it starts to look less like bad luck and more like a pattern. Perry's first lawsuit, filed in June by an actor from his show The Oval, alleges assault and harassment that, according to court documents, Perry's team tried to bury with payoffs. The second, from a media Halloween actor, claims Perry used his power to manipulate young men in the industry, offering roles in exchange for private favors. The similarities to Diddy's case are impossible to ignore, and the fact that Harvey has yet to address either situation speaks volumes.
Is that true?
Stop right there. That's a good point.
Oh, you heard that too?
Yeah, listen, this is what went down.
Okay.
I'm telling y'all.
But here's where things get even messier. Harvey's connection to these men isn't just social, it's financial. Diddy and Harvey have collaborated on projects for years, from music ventures to charity events. And while the exact nature of their business dealings has never been fully disclosed, the fact that Harvey's name hasn't come up in any of the investigations yet feels less like luck and more like careful management. The same goes for Perry. Harvey has appeared on Perry's shows, promoted his projects, and even defended him in interviews when the first allegations surfaced. That's not just loyalty. That's a calculated decision to stand by someone even as the evidence mounts against them. And when you consider that Perry's lawsuits allege a pattern of behavior spanning more than a decade, it raises an uncomfortable question. Did Harvey know? Because if he didn't, that suggests willful ignorance. And if he did, it suggests complicity. Then there's the matter of Marjorie Harvey's past, which suddenly looks far more relevant when placed alongside the kinds of scandals Diddy and Perry are facing. Marjorie wasn't just married to one man with a criminal record. She was married to two. Jim Townsend, her first husband, was a convicted substance trafficker sentenced to life in prison before receiving a pardon from Barack Obama in 2017. But the details of his case and Marjorie's involvement have never been fully disclosed. What we do know is that Townsend has claimed the FBI had enough evidence to indict Marjorie, but that he took a deal to protect her. That's not just a red flag, it's a flashing neon sign. And when you add her second husband, Donald Woods, another figure tied to the same criminal underworld, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. The question isn't just what Marjorie knew or did. It's what Steve Harvey was willing to overlook to maintain the image of his perfect family. What's becoming undeniable is that Harvey's associations with Diddy and Perry aren't just personal. They're part of a larger ecosystem where power, influence, and silence are the real currencies. In that world, Harvey wasn't just a participant. He was a beneficiary. The same traits that made him successful in comedy, his ability to control a room, to rewrite narratives, to ensure his version of events is the one that sticks, are the same traits that made him valuable to men like Diddy and Perry. Because in their world, loyalty isn't just about friendship. It's about protection. And protection only works if everyone stays quiet. The problem for Harvey is that the people who used to stay quiet aren't anymore. Diddy is in prison. Perry is being sued into oblivion. And the people they allegedly hurt are finally speaking up. That leaves Harvey in a precarious position, the last man standing in a circle of associates who are either locked up, being sued, or about to be exposed. And that's where the real danger lies. Because if Diddy's legal team starts looking for ways to reduce his sentence, or if Perry's accusers begin naming names, Harvey's associations stop being footnotes and start becoming liabilities. And unlike ex-wives or comedy rivals, the kinds of scandals tied to Diddy and Perry don't just end careers. They permanently destroy reputations. The fact that Harvey has stayed silent on both situations isn't just telling, it's damning. In a world where even the hint of association with men like this can ruin you, his refusal to distance himself reads like an admission. And if that's the case, then the questions about his finances, his marriages, and his comedy feuds aren't just about personal failures. They point to something much darker. Here's the part that should make anyone paying attention pause. The leaks we've seen so far about Harvey's personal life are just the tip of the iceberg. If Diddy's legal team starts digging deeper, or if Perry's lawsuits uncover more names, Harvey's connections could become the story. And unlike comedy feuds or divorce drama, this isn't something that can be spun with a motivational quote or a carefully timed interview. This is the kind of scandal that sticks, the kind that follows you, the kind you never fully escape. So the question isn't just whether Harvey will survive his current scandals. It's what happens when the people he spent years aligning himself with start dragging him into theirs. And if the past few weeks have proven anything, it's that the men Harvey chose to stand by don't exactly have a history of protecting the people around them. This story isn't just about Steve Harvey's personal failures. It's about the world he chose to operate in and the people he decided were worth his loyalty. Will Diddy's legal team start naming names? If they do, will Harvey be one of them? Will Tyler Perry's downfall pull Harvey into the mess? Or has he already distanced himself enough to avoid the fallout? And what happens when Marjorie's past finally catches up to her, and by extension, to him? One thing is certain. The man who built his brand on being the guy who could handle anything is about to find out what happens when the things he can't control start controlling him. So what do you think? Is Harvey just guilty by association? Or is there more to his connections with Diddy and Perry than we've seen so far? And more importantly, who's going to be the first to break the silence? Because in stories like this, the real truth doesn't come from headlines. It comes from the people who've been waiting for the right moment to speak. And that moment is coming faster than anyone thinks.